And hello, movie lovers, and welcome to the show. With me, I have my good friend Creighton Hobbs with me, and tonight we're actually doing a spoiler review for Jason Pitts' independent horror slasher movie, Masquerade. So hello to everybody. Creighton?
Hi, everybody. Oh, I am so excited about this. I mean, this is uh, if you have not heard of this movie, you're fixing to hear about it because I'm telling you, uh, if this was, if I could basically just make a short sentence out of it, this is
Mhm.
like Christmas wrapped up in a bow of bloody horror sweetness.
Most definitely. It gives you that sweet tooth, pun intended, into Candyman a little bit, but it gives you that little sweet flavor of a horror movie on what a horror movie is supposed to feel like. And everything too,
Mhm.
especially with the opening. You see this character, she's slicing the tomatoes. And I went into this a little bit of detail in this non-spoiler review, but the Masquerade music in itself feels like a tango kind of
Uh-huh.
dance kind of style. And it's like a
Yeah.
masquerade. It's like a delicacy of how she's preparing the meal for herself. But then you also see some people that this character might have murdered, or there's some type of murder that got placed in this. So therefore, there's a lot of misconception within this movie at the very beginning of the credits, which is something that I appreciated that Jason did.
Sure. Oh gosh. I mean, the actual the storytelling of it. I mean, just the plot of this movie. It's worth every bit of watching because you know I'm telling you, I this is coming from like a director point of view and somebody who owns a studio. When somebody who makes movies, right? We're the magicians. We know the magic tricks. We know the magic show. And when another magician is watching another magicians do their show, and we can sit there and watch it and go, oh my, I'm telling you, that is like right on the money. That is something that it's to me, it's not only entertainment, but it's art. It's pure art form.
It definitely is. This is a very unique way of telling a story that I haven't seen before in a horror movie. Like, for
Mm-hmm.
instance, Masquerade is pretty much about this guy named Clint. Clint is a home invader who pretends to actually fall in love with somebody over an app called Masquerade, and then him and his crew go in and pretty much they do a home invasion while the date is being placed, and then they take the
Mm-hmm.
person's stuff. This time they messed with the wrong person, and
Yeah.
yeah, and Sylvia is actually as a character that is very complex. It's not one dimensional. She's not a one dimensional
Mm-hmm.
character at all. She's very complex in her in the way that she delivers certain things. But she's
Yeah.
actually a supermodel, and she's internationally known. And so, therefore, they don't even know that they're even going to Sylvia's place in the first place at all. They think that this is
Yeah.
just going to be another setup. Clint is just going to go on ahead, do his Clint thing, go inside this house, and take all this person's stuff. Well, when Clint gets there, he realizes, oh, I'm over here in front of
That's,
Olivia.
yeah. Right.
And he's like, okay. So now he's like, okay, this is a whole different ball game because he's in there with Olivia. So meanwhile, you have the crew discussing how they're gonna go ahead and rob the place and everything after Clint goes on ahead and basically serenades her, does whatever he needs to do to get the job done. But what did you think of the opening and all that stuff too?
Oh, I love the opening because to me, the the writing of it and the screenshots of it and even the tones of the lighting and stuff like that was just perfectly told. I mean, it was like, okay, you got me here. And then it just showed that build, and it kept building up, and I swear I felt like I was a teenager that was watching this movie, like, oh,
It definitely
oh,
glues you in.
yeah. I mean, you can't help but what in the world is this hot international superstar doing next? You know,
Well,
that's what it was to me.
right. But also, too, you know, whenever it is like this though too, Clint questions her and everything. Why are
Mm-hmm.
you on this dating site? You're Olivia. You're an international super. You're a model, for crying out
Yeah.
loud. What are you doing and everything? You're not. What are you doing on a Masquerade dating site?
Yeah. Yeah. And I liked whoever wrote it. They put a lot of thought into it, like the responses. And like my hat is off to absolutely everybody in that crew because uh, I've told other actors and actresses this saying. You ever heard of that saying, John? It takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah, I
It
heard that
takes a
before.
village. Literally it takes a village to make a movie, short or feature length. It takes a village, and Jason Pitts and his village, they have created the most awesome short film, or whatever you want to call it. I call it a film. I don't,
It's a
but
37-minute film, so yeah, it's
yeah,
definitely. I'm gonna
I
call it a film.
mean, because he knew exactly how to get that vision from his head for all of us to watch and enjoy it. And so, my God, I mean, just the opening sequences, that's what made me go, ooh, ooh, that's what's like, ooh, that kind of thing.
Right. And also too, the lighting, like you mentioned, was perfect. Also, another thing too
Mhm.
is even inside the car where it was dark and everything, we still got a
Right.
chance. Here's the thing: with dark, when we're dealing with darkness and stuff like that, being shot in the dark, sometimes certain shots are hard to actually see. Jason managed to use things in a way that we could see every single thing that's happening
Right.
in this atmosphere. It's very atmospheric if you think about it.
Yeah,
If you
it
look at it.
is. It
And
is.
my other thing, though, when Clint walks in and he questions her about why she's even there, she goes, "Oh, I'm just so sick of being the supermodel. I just want to be normal and everything." And I'm like, okay, that actually does make sense in a way because, certain people might get tired of fame. Some people might get tired
Yeah.
of the everyday thing of saying, hey, look, I'm tired of dating all these other people that are like me. I want to date somebody different outside of my comfort zone. So that
Mhm.
I can see why she would want to be on a Masquerade dating site.
Yeah.
Then she also notices the tattoos, and then he winds up giving her a sob story about how he's was in prison, and she just doesn't
Right.
care.
Yeah, she was like, yeah. I loved it because to me that was like a nice introduction of showing. All right, you're starting to see a little darkness coming to this, type thing.
Yeah,
It's
because
like
right,
it showed that build up to it.
right, because like I said in my non-spoiler review, they both have stuff to hide. Both characters are not as
Mhm.
innocent as they play it off to be. It's like a tango between the two of them
Yeah.
and everything about who can BS each other the most, basically.
Right.
But she read right through him
Yeah.
too,
Right.
and then he goes. They hear a noise. Then Clint goes down into the garage, and then I like how the camera pan angles over to the side a little bit to where you
Yeah.
see the person that the guys that are about to break in,
Yeah.
and he winds
And
up
where
telling him right.
where you can see everybody that's there. It's almost like you felt like you was in that garage hanging out with them almost. Like
Right.
wow.
Right. You actually do feel like you're inside the house with them. It does feel
Mhm.
like that. And when he looks at his friend and goes, "Look, man, we got it. We can't do this. We can't this is very different." He goes, "What do you mean this is different? This is just like any other home invasion. We're gonna go in ahead, you're gonna do your thing, we're gonna go in ahead and get out." He
You're
goes,
right.
"No, I'm telling you, this is different."
Yeah.
And what's different is you have a supermodel who is basically seeing through all his BS which is scary for him because now he knows that he can't BS this person.
Yeah.
Or anything like he could do with everybody else. Then she's a supermodel, which means like if anything happens to her, cops are going to be looking for them.
Yeah.
So you have that. So you have different levels of two characters that are playing off each other very well.
That is very true. And you know, it's two talented, well, not just them two, but it's all of them all of the actors and actresses in that film that just, you know, like me, when directing, I can tell when there's good chemistry with, and most anybody else can too. You know, like you can watch a movie and you can say, like, yeah, them two, you know, there's chemistry there. I can believe this character type thing. And I guess that's why I really fell in love with this movie, because when I watched it, you know, I was like, dang, man, they are just on cue with each other. They just know how to read off of each other and make it that much more believable. So it's like top notch.
It's definitely top notch. And like you mentioned before, let's talk about the other characters too that does this home invasion. Because here's the thing, Clint has a girlfriend who does home invasions with them. And she's perfectly okay with him going on this dating site, talking to random strangers to rob them, because as long as it benefits her. But this is supposed to be the one last blow up, this one last ride of hoorah, of stealing and everything. And you know how it goes when it comes down to one last assassination, one last robbery, one last anything. It does not always go well for the person at all. Something winds up backfiring on them. Every single time, this is going to be one last hurrah. This is going to be one last score, and we're going to be set. And this is exactly what happens whenever you say one last anything. And the girlfriend is totally fine with it. She goes, go on ahead, do what you have to do. We'll be waiting here in the car. Next thing you know it, they're joking around, having the bantering. And I thought the banter was really good between the characters.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, the chemistry. And then also, too, the lighting inside the car. I'm actually feeling like I'm sitting inside the car with them.
Right.
As this is going on. And as this is being played out, they're like, so what are you going to do once you get the money and things like that? There's a lot of stuff within this, within the context itself that I really liked.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. And, you know, and I loved how it was enough. It was not overdone and it wasn't, you know, underdone. It was the right balance of wanting to keep you there with, you know, the dialogue and the tone of the dialogue as well. You know, when you're making a movie, it's kind of like, you know, imagine, you know, the and I can't remember the character's name, but the girlfriend that was in the passenger seat right there. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. That's going to be Lizzie. Lizzie's her name.
Lizzie. Okay, so, you know, like her tone was very well done. Like, imagine Lizzie speaking in a Stitch voice. Yeah, it just wasn't played right, you know, but she had that right pitch for everybody else that was acting in those scenes with her. Was like, you know, like with her, and she has like a no cussing rule. You know what I mean?
Right. Well,
but she's
speaking of the no cussing rule, I want to talk about that for a minute because Clint does mention it with Olivia. Remember? He winds up telling her I have this ex-girlfriend that doesn't like cussing. And then Olivia goes on ahead and she says this. She goes, who the F doesn't like cussing and everything? F her and everything else. And, you know, so it makes her rant a little bit. She's turned up a dial.
Yeah.
And everything. Her octave is way up there. And so you don't expect her to go off the way she does whenever he
Mm-mm.
says there's not a cussing rule that my ex-girlfriend has. She has a no cussing rule.
Yeah, right.
So
And
he
I
winds up
love
mention
that.
right, right, me too. And he winds up mentioning the girlfriend without and by saying, hey, basically I have a girlfriend, but she's not my girlfriend. She's my ex-girlfriend
Yeah.
instead. But uh tell me what else you liked about that though.
um, just about like that, that beginning part of it.
Right. The beginning part of the whole entire deal where
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
Um, I also liked how, um, it was. It did not feel rushed, but it didn't feel drawn out. It felt like the tempo was at the right pace, just to, you know, let the audience get to know this character and get to know this other character. And okay, so this is the intro, you know what I mean? And it just had a very good tempo, and it wasn't felt like, we're going to rush it in on you, I'm a big fan of, let the audience get comfortable, let them get comfortable, let them sit back and relax. And I feel like Jason did very well directing with creating it from script to visual. And
Right, from script to screen, because there could be a
mhm,
difference between when you're writing something and how it's being adapted, and then once it looks good on paper. I say this in my reviews sometimes. I said it looks good on paper, but it could look like total crap whenever you look at on the screen. And he, like you
mhm.
said, the way he does it from paper to screen is fantastic.
Oh gosh, it's just you know I just cannot praise it enough about that, the beginning of it. And then, as you get, past like that first, bit, then that's where to me it's like, oh,
That's when it takes a turn. And what I mean by
uh-huh,
taking a
yeah,
turn, once Clint comes back to check on Olivia, her shoes are off and everything. She goes, look, we might have to call the cops and everything. There's been somebody in your home. And she's not running. This girl is not running from anything. She goes, what do you mean there's somebody in my house and everything? That can't be, that can't be, or anything like that. And he goes, come on, we have to get out of here. And she goes, I'm not moving. I don't care what you
mm,
say. I'm not moving. I'm here. This is my home. They're going to have to go in there and take me out. Next thing you know it, she winds up taking her heel that she took off and saw on the kitchen counter, winds up
yeah,
taking her heel
God,
and basically stabbing the heel into Clint's eye, causing him to fall on the ground.
yeah,
And as this is going on, after she walks off and
hmm,
everything, she winds up looking around for all the other burglars,
yeah,
and she finds one of them that's inside inside the bedroom with these other dead bodies that's already there.
yeah,
And so the guy's over there thinking that what the heck is going on here and everything. Who are these people? And at that point, as he's looking in there, there's also another scene where we wind up having Lizzie is in there,
right, hmm,
and Lizzie is over there looking around too. And then that's when basically Olivia winds up taking her out. Olivia winds
hmm.
up, or we think that she took her out and
Yeah, and
everything.
see, that's what I like, because it wasn't like like a typical slasher thing, where it's like, you know, I mean, it was like watching for real a almost a like a serial killer. I mean, that's it's like a
True.
I mean, most serial killers, they like Ted Bundy, for example. He had two faces. In public, normal, nice guy, good looking guy, you know, but he
Well,
was and literally and psychotic. And so to me, that's what, and same thing with John Gacy, I mean, but the character that Olivia played, and I forgot the character's name, but um, you know, that's what it reminded me of when I got
Right.
finished with the movie. I was like, oh my god, this gives me a whole new take on like a serial killer type deal.
Right. Because don't forget, with Dexter, he's like, we all wear masks.
Mm-hmm.
And a matter of fact, I remember on the first season of Dexter, for example, he said, I love Halloween because it's the first time that he goes, everybody else gets to wear a mask, but I get to put
Yeah,
on a mask every year. So basically, it's just her putting a layer on over her face and trying to show the world what her fake self, to fit
right,
into the world, to fit into
right,
society. And
right.
then you wind up having this whole entire deal where it goes a whole 360 and spins out of control because of the fact that you have these people inside her home and she's killing people.
Right.
And, she winds up taking both of them downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
then we find out that she didn't even kill them. She ties them up, and even
Yeah.
Clint's alive, which is something I was surprised about.
Wait,
Clint,
when he came back, well,
yeah, Clint,
when they were tied up,
yeah, Clint was
I
actually alive.
I thought
Because
he was
remember,
dead. I thought they were all dead and they were ghosts, and that
you,
she was seeing ghosts
you
at
see,
first.
here's the thing. At the end, I was thinking that the victims that she kills is going. Now, this is just me speculating, but I was thinking at the very end of the film, whenever the investigators are over there asking her questions, we wind up seeing Lizzie, her ghost.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking,
Yeah.
okay, all these victims that she kills, does that go with her? Does
Right.
she carry the victims with her?
Mm-hmm.
And that makes sense on what you said, because I'm like, how is Clint still alive if she stabbed him in the
See,
eye?
yeah, see, I got it where he was dead because he hit the ground and it looked like he was out for the count, and that gargantuan heel, was long enough to go into his brain, you know. Uh,
Right.
and the same thing with the other guy, the real big guy, the other robber. I can't remember his name. The actor. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, he's a real nice dude.
Jerome, I think is his name.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Jerome.
Um, and like when Disney, I mean Olivia,
Olivia.
yeah, when she took that and cut him up under the chin, right? She took that knife and
Right. Well,
stuck it.
for the first thing she does is, I think, no. The first time that she does anything to him, she winds up just knocking him out with chlorophyll, with just something like that, and then she puts him down in the basement. Same thing with the girl. So
Yeah,
they're
they were
still
down in the
alive.
basement, tied up. But
So
she killed
right.
the other guy.
Yeah,
Or
she
one
killed
of
the other guy.
Yeah, the other guy. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that guy. The guy
She
she
killed
stuck that
Anton.
knife. Yeah, because I remember seeing that and I was like, oh, that's a good scene. Good kill scene. And
Right.
but like, after that guy was killed, do you remember seeing him by the door?
I didn't pick up on that.
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah. You
I'm gonna
could
have to
see
rewatch
him.
this.
Yeah, like, and I can't remember if if Olivia was leaving or what, but I saw that character, that was by that door, and I was like, okay, wait a minute. I was like, wait a minute, hold up, he's dead. You know what I mean? Um, so to me, whoops, sorry,
It's okay.
but like to me, the way I took it, it was Ghost. The victims, or not but I guess the victims that
She
she was
kills.
killing. Yeah, and
And it makes sense now. It does. Because, like I said, I think that these are the victims that she winds up carrying with her, which makes
yeah,
sense because of Lizzie showing up at the end of the movie. But after that winds up happening, well, we're not going to go into that scene yet. We're still in the basement scene, but
yeah,
she winds up taking the knife, stabbing Jerome in the leg, and then she winds up killing him after that. But she also winds up taking the blade to Lizzie, cutting her face. She goes, "Take off your mask."
Mm-hmm.
And she also wants her to go ahead and cuss, which is, and I think I know why, what she means by take off the mask and everything. I'm thinking that it goes deeper than that. Like, show your true self.
True, yeah.
Instead of your fake self.
Yeah.
And cuss. We know you cuss, so why are you faking like you don't?
Right.
In your moments of privacy, I'm sure you do cuss. So why are you trying to put up a front like you don't cuss in front of other people?
Yeah.
So take off your mask.
Take off your front. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what I got out of it.
Yeah, that's what I got as well. Like it's like because everybody puts on a front, whether you're at work or at a family reunion or something like that. You put on your best behavior versus when you're behind closed doors. So to me it was like very like show me your truths, your true type thing, except it was more vicious. Like
and then Lizzie she goes, "Come on, say the word fuck." "I'm not gonna say it." "Come on, just say it." "No." Then she winds up cutting the other part of her face, and then she's also cutting her arm and everything, torturing the girl because she won't say the F word.
Right. I mean,
so
look, I'm going to tell you this right now. If Olivia's husband, I would be kind of nervous, from here on out, because if I got Olivia mad or something, I'll be like, "Hey, how are you feeling? You all right? Is there anything I can do to make you feel a little bit better?" I've seen that movie Jason did with you, because she's that good. She really makes you believe it, like
exactly.
God.
And then also too, another thing that winds up happening after this, she winds up killing her. After that winds up happening, it goes into the next day with her jogging. And then she opens the door, acts like that she's one of her neighbors, the neighbors and everything, and finds the bodies. And of course, Lizzie's still tied up, Jerome is still tied up and everything. And then she makes it look like it's basically not suicide, but you know what I'm getting at.
Right. Yeah. She made it look like
basically that the neighbors had an affair and basically
and everybody
murdered.
Everybody killed each other. Yeah. And it wasn't even her house,
No. And also too, she lives a mile down from them, but she calls them her neighbors.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make sense. So this tells me this was not even her home that she was even at to begin with. At all. Which is actually a smart thing for her. Because think of it like this. You have a famous person who's on a dating app. She wants to fit into society. She has this random guy showing up. She's not going to go on ahead and go to her mansion or wherever she lives at. She's going to look like she's normal as possible. So therefore, she's going to show up at a normal house.
Yeah.
So that's what winds up happening. But before we get into anything else, you know what could have probably saved their lives? Saved the men's life at least? Manscaped.
That's true.
Lizzie could have actually trimmed them up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But cheers to 2022 and resolutions you can actually keep. How about having clean and shiny balls all year round? Our sponsors at Manscaped are here to save your balls this year and make the ball drop into 2022 the cleanest and sexiest ever. Set your first New Year's resolution with good intentions and join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with our exclusive offer. Go to manscaped.com and use the promo code Movie Lovers Unite to get 20% off plus free shipping. Also, too, there was a time in my life when I was just shaving with the wrong tools in my life. I was shaving with basically the same tool that, Sylvia had. in
Oh
her hand.
God. Oh.
I'm going to tell you, I would probably have to spend a lot of time in the emergency room and everything. You know what I mean, Creighton?
Oh.
And you don't want to do that. You want to
Mm-mm.
you want to go ahead and shave your balls with the best tools for the job. You know what I mean? You want to make it
Right.
look like there's no jungle down there. So,
Right.
so it's a new year, new me
Yeah.
with the global leaders in below the waist grooming this year. Take your package to the next level with the Performance Package 4.0 and brand new Ultra Premium Body Wash. The body wash is fantastic. I'm just going to be honest with you. And man, and get this. Speaking of home invasions, I have a bottle sitting right next to me and everything. Don't even ask me why I even have this thing next to me, but I have it. But these bottles look like they're heavy enough to knock somebody out with. This is like showering with an army style MRE in your hand. That's how heavy these bottles are. These will knock Jerome out. You wouldn't even need a knife.
Wow.
This is how
Wow.
heavy they are. I'm telling you. Inside the package, Performance Package 4.0, you'll find the Signature Lawnmower 4.0. The electric trimmer is designed to trim hair on loose skin. The advanced skin safe technology reduces cuts and nicks on your delicate nuts. It also equipped with a 4,000 LED spotlight that will shine a light all the way down to the promised land in 2022. A grooming routine isn't complete with applying crop preserver and crop reviver before showing off your 2022 self. The unique formulations take care of the smelliest part of your body and are a big boost to your confidence this year. I'll tell you what, if Jerome winded up showing his package or Clint, I promise you, they wouldn't even have a problem with her at all. But, they didn't.
Right.
So, unfortunately, that was the outcome. They ended up dying. But a grooming routine isn't, like I said before, to complete the set, Manscaped threw in their shed travel bag and anti-shafting boxer briefs as a free gift to keep all your goodies stored comfortably. And the new product that needs no introduction is the Ultimate Premium Body Wash from Manscaped. Solves the three of the perfect addition to your daily grooming routine. But in the shower, I shower every day, and I hope you do too. This body wash smells great too. It's cologne infused with aloe vera and sea salt to keep your skin feeling nice and moisturized. Kick discomfort and poor hygiene to the curb this year and use the best tools for the job, whether your resolution is to work out more or travel to the places. Be sure to travel to manscaped.com for an exclusive offer at 20% off, free shipping and handling with the promo code Movie Loves Unite. Get yourself 20% off plus free shipping. So
wow. That sounds like a Walt Disney World experience. Ba-doom. No, sorry.
But so let's go on ahead. Let's go and get back to business whenever it comes down to our review, though.
Right.
We have this scene being played out with the cops, and the cops are over there, and of course the police captain is okay with Olivia. To be Sylvia, I mean, not Olivia, Sylvia. So, anyways, he's like, so is it okay if I go, officer? Yeah, we got everything you need. But then you have the other policewoman coming in, which is Detective Kim Spencer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And let me just tell you about Samantha, because Samantha was actually on a movie called Alone that Jason directed and wrote too. And she does a fantastic job as an actress. And she did a really good job at speaking of putting on fronts, she could read right through her.
Right. Yeah. That's what I enjoyed watching that with, her performance, because it was kind of like, it wasn't the good cop, bad cop type, stereotypical, there's the good cop, here's the bad cop. It was more like old school, new school, like the old school cop was kind of like, hey, we know you live here, but the new, the younger cop was, to me, it went over well, because it was like, look, things aren't making sense, to me. It's like, why are you running a mile away from your house and calling these people your neighbor? So,
right. And then she was
enjoyed it.
Right, because remember what Olivia said, though. She said, oh, I call them my neighbors because we had that close relationship and everything, and they used to make the best cupcakes or so. I'm not going for verbatim, but that's basically
Right.
the kind of BS story that she gave her.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And also, too, there are some callbacks. If you love horror movies, there's Haydenfield. There's callbacks to Camp Crystal Lake. Which is Jason Voorhees. There's Nightmare on Elm Street callbacks. There's Scream callbacks. There's a lot. You could definitely tell that horror. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff within the dialogue itself that you might miss out on the first go round.
Yeah.
And there's stuff that I missed out on that you caught, which I'm glad that you caught.
Right.
With certain scenes.
Sure. Yeah.
Because like I said, I didn't think about the ghost or anything like that.
Mm-hmm, yeah, right. Because, the key thing that really sunken in with me that made me think in my mind when I was watching it is when, when Olivia was on the porch. And, I mean, to me, it was very good acting when she was, sitting there and she was patting air, do you remember that scene when she was sitting there patting on the air on the porch? And
because it makes it look like because she makes it look like she's patting Lizzie.
Yeah, exactly. And so acting wise, that's difficult to pull that off and make it believable. It really is. It's kind of like you have to know your exact hand positioning and try to recreate that. And it's not like you just do it once. And it's kind of like, you're directing and you're recording this. So you got to get it just right to make it believable for the audience and and pray that you've got it on the first couple takes, it's like, oh God, please.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. That's actually called mirroring, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what I thought, because I remember learning about that in theater class.
Yeah.
And also, too, that's also how I painted a scene in theater, because I didn't have any props other than my boxing gloves. So what I did was I just used air to make it look like I'm climbing the rope of a boxing ring.
Yeah.
So that's a perfect way of actually describing it, as mirroring in a character, but that's not being there.
Yeah. And, things like that, to the audience, it's like, yay, that's a nice, that's a great scene, type thing. But somebody that's like, from me, that I'm like, God, I can appreciate that, because I know how tough it is when like you're dealing with supernatural or dead or that kind of stuff. It's anybody could do it, I guess, but there's a difference than just saying, here, put the sheet on you and be Casper the Ghost, versus like trying to do it with style or, type, or taking that extra couple of hours and try to make it creepy just by throwing blood on it or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's the attention to details, what editors like to say, the devil is in the details. And this movie really captures those details.
Definitely. So now let's talk about the end credits, though, too, because the end credits with all the magazines and stuff, and then you also have the editing, all the cast members being listed on there as if it's like a magazine articles and stuff like that, which I really love that Jason did. And I didn't talk about this in the non-spoiler review because I was trying to savor the flavor a little bit.
Yeah.
But man, I really loved that. I really enjoyed seeing something different like that.
Oh my gosh, that was such a treat to see it, because like, and which, most actors or anybody that works in movies, they will tell you, as long as your beginning is good and your ending is good, that's your best compliment that you can give to, make sure you got a good beginning and a good ending type of thing. And like the credits, and I loved how it was such a nice new fresh look and take. It was like, wow, this is amazing. And where I love where after the credits play, where
Right. Where we
I'll the
right.
hell with it. I'm not going to call her Olivia on this. I'm going to call her Disney because I can't resist. But
Sylvia. It's Sylvia.
no,
I
I'm
called her
going to call her.
Olivia on an accident, but it's actually
No, I'm going to call her Disney
Sylvia.
by her real name or Disney.
Yeah, her real name is
Disney.
Olivia Disney.
Yeah, I'm going to call her Disney right now. So when Disney, because I've been wanting to do this, when Disney, that's so awesome. When she was like doing the selfie thing and looking in the mirror, I'm telling you, to me that creeped me out more than I think anything, because the deliverance of it, the was like, holy crap, this is like a real life Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, Wayne Gacy. These names were going through my head. I really thought about Wayne Gacy, how this, how he would dress up in a clown, and, he was a plumber, but then he was going around, her
kids' birthday
people.
parties.
Yeah,
Right.
it's like, and seeing Disney do this where she could perform such, like, God Almighty, it just, that was the hook, line, and sinker for me right there. I was like, Jason, you got me,
Same here. To be honest with you, the transformation of her face and then her facial structure, the look she goes into the camera on her social media, it looks like, and she's admitting to the fact that she killed these people, killed the neighbors, killed the home invaders, and she's going to get away with it. She thinks that she's going to get away with it.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that I see a cat and mouse game between the detective and her, which would be fantastic. Yeah. But like you mentioned, Creighton, I can understand why you call her Disney rather than call her by a character name, because of the transformation of it being so real, of the fact that it could actually be an actress who winds up going down this deep end,
Yeah.
who winds up like the way she does it is just phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And everything, the quick transformation of it doesn't even feel like she's playing the character anymore. And usually if an actress is playing just themselves or whatever, it pulls me out. But here's the thing, I'm thinking that she's playing the way that she would play herself as the character, you know what I'm saying? Like the character just took over her.
Yeah.
And possessed her in a way to where it brought that out. And that is something that I really loved about it.
Yeah. And, it's like, gosh. And the thing of it is, too, like when actors or actresses have to go down that deep rabbit hole, of playing these disturbed characters, it's really up to the whole team to be there for that person who's got to travel down that rabbit hole, because that actor or actress, they got to go to a dark place, to make that character come alive, right? And when the director says, okay, cut, everybody take a 15-minute break, you got to be there for that person on set, and you got to make sure that it's not just on set, but it's like after they get home. It's like you've got to so to say that Disney has pulled that off, top notch. I mean, my hat's off to her. It's like, girl, you should be in Hollywood.
I agree. As a matter of fact, I want to have her on the show. I'm hoping Jason gives me a chance to actually have her on the show, because I want to know how she managed to pull that off and how she was managed to switch that off. Because I know me as an actor or whatever, I know that would be hard for me to separate myself from that character once they say cut. Because once you're in that role and you reach this point of darkness, it's hard to pull that person out of it.
Yeah.
Perfect example is
Sometimes it's
Heath Ledger.
very, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Heath. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Heath Ledger, you know? I mean,
But this, Jason, if you're watching, this movie is fantastic. It's fantastically well executed, perfectly well written. You have a home run on your plate when it comes to Masquerade and also your Alone series too. And I
yeah.
can't wait to check that out whenever you have Lonely Echoes coming out, which is the sequel to Alone. I can't wait to see that. But Jason, keep up the awesome work over there, especially with your Voorhees and fan film of Friday the 13th and everything too. It means so much to me that we were able to actually do a spoiler review for this. And I know for you, Creighton, as well. I mean, this means a lot to you as a filmmaker.
Oh, yeah. And, I can't speak for everybody, but I can only speak for me, but it really, it gives me hope for the future of filmmaking because, we're all so used to, the big budget movies,
Right, the big
people,
blockbusters.
yeah, the studios that have more money than God. But, like when it comes to directors and writers and producers and actors and actresses, that just is like, man, I got this story and I want to tell it. And when they tell it, you're like, oh my God, where have you been my whole life? And it's like, so that's the way it is. And it really gives me hope for the future of filming. When I see films like Masquerade and films directed and the whole cast and crew of this movie as well. So excellent job, everybody.
Definitely. And speaking of Olivia, Disney, she's actually been watching this whole entire time. She's actually in the chat. I'm watching, and you'll have me crying. Thank you so much. You are very welcome, Olivia. You are very welcome. And let's see. Jason says, I'm sure Olivia and I can come on. No problem. We can make that happen. Yes, Jason, come on. As a matter of fact, I'll have Creighton come on with me again because I'd like to actually have him come on.
Yay, I can throw a Disney joke.
Yep.
I can start singing. I can start singing to Olivia. I'm gonna be like, "It's a small world after all."
And just like that, we lost all our 715 subscribers.
Right? Yeah, I know, right?
And it wasn't because of a Manscaped ad. But anyway.
No, believe it or not, it wasn't about talking about balls either. Yeah, so
But anyways, Olivia says this. She says, "Can't wait to go on the show and dive into exactly how I got into the character." Olivia, we can't wait either, to be honest with you. You crafted that character beautifully. The whole cast is fantastic, Jason.
Oh, gosh.
I mean it. I can't wait to be able to chat with you about this film. And here's the thing. Whenever I hear a film getting buzzed over at an independent film festival, I get excited for this. But here's the thing. It's your film. I'm excited for you and all the success that you're having with this film.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to hear more of what this film is going to do. This film is going to have legs. This is a film that people have been wanting from the horror genre for a long time.
Yep.
And you were able to pull so much layers, Olivia. Jason, you managed to get the best possible direction from your actors, which is the job of a director, is to get the best out of your actors and actresses, and you did a phenomenal job. Congratulations to you.
Yeah, awesome job, man. And this is going to not only Jason, but to everybody. Y'all absolutely deserve every award y'all can get from the film festivals. And I'm telling you, this movie's so good. I would be like, okay, I'm glad they won the award, but this movie's so good, they need to have all their sexual fantasies fulfilled as well with it. So, I mean, y'all, it's that good. I love it that much.
This is not 50 Shades of Grey, Creighton. Just letting you know. But she does. But guess what, Creighton? Olivia says this. Creighton was amazing and so fun to listen to, and this is why I like having Creighton on. He brings out the best energy on my show and everything too. And Jason says, "Thank you, man. Much appreciated. We are very humble. I'm glad that you are." But that's gonna be it as far as this review goes. Is there anything else that you would like to say, Creighton, before we close out?
No, I mean, look, the best thing I could tell anybody and everybody, if you have not watched this movie yet, what are you waiting on? Go and watch it, because all you're doing is depriving yourself. Because if you want something new, if you want something different, only can Jason Pitts and the cast and crew of Masquerade can fulfill each and every bit of your horror, deceitful, weird, fulfilling needs.
Most definitely. And one other thing before I close out, for everybody saying, "Oh, where's all the original stuff? Why are we just getting sequels and reboots?" You guys need to go on ahead, go to Jason Pitts' YouTube channel, subscribe over there as well under Jason Pitts. You can watch alone. He doesn't have Masquerade uploaded yet, but you'll see the originality behind Jason Pitts' originality with everything and callbacks to other horror movies and stuff like that you can really relate to and understand from the lenses of Jason Pitts. Yep. So do that. And Olivia's cracking up. But he is hilarious. He'll even turn your review into a porno sometimes and cause other people to can't.
Wait, Jason's last name is Pitts, right?
Here we go.
No. Yep. I mean, seriously, it's Jason Pitts, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so when Jason comes on your show next time, run the Manscaped thing and run the Pitts thing. It'll somehow correlate with each other.
Okay.
Jason can be like, my last name is Pitts, and I use Manscaped. Okay. I mean, it'll work. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it as far as this review for Masquerade goes. I'd want to thank Creighton so much for doing this review with me. It means so much to me to take time out of your night to talk about Masquerade, and I'm glad that you wanted to do it.
It was fun, man. It was so great. I really enjoyed it. And thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And I want to thank Jason, Olivia, and everybody else in the live chat as well. And then also, too, I want to remind everybody, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, Beth from Made for Movie TV podcast is going to be on the show with me again. And we're going to be doing another indie movie that's actually been nominated for the Holly Shorts Film Festival selection. And this one's actually going to be called Under the Heavens. And this is only a 17-minute movie that got made, and it's really good. So go ahead and check that out at 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Then on Tuesday, I'm going to be doing a review of Cobra, which is actually the Sylvester Stallone movie from the 1984.
Right.
But if something happens and everything, don't worry, I have a backup plan in case we're not able to do that, because I am going to go check out the new Scream movie on Tuesday before we do the review for Cobra. So expect one or the other. Either way it goes, we're still going to do a show at 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. So, that's just what we do here at Movie Lovers Night. If one person can't make it, we adjust it. We adjust the times and everything, and we do something else. It's no skin underneath my on my end at all. So with that being said, guys, do us this one favor: smash that subscribe button, smash that like button. If you want to donate to the page, how do you do that? Just go to gofundme.com/Movie Lovers Podcast. Donate $5 to $10 over there. Helps keep the lights here at Movie Lovers Night. Another thing too I want to mention is this: if you guys want to follow me underneath Movie Lovers TV Lovers Night on Facebook, underneath the same brand name on Instagram and on Pinterest as well. If you want to get an audio only podcast of our episodes here at Movie Lovers Night, you guys can get that wherever you guys get your major podcasts from. But go over to Good Pods. Good Pods is a good place for us as content creators, for podcasters. This is like social media for podcasting. And also, too, if you're someone that likes listening to podcasts, go over there, rate us over there and everything. And you can comment. We can comment back and forth. Tell us what you think of it, of our show and stuff like that, too. And also it gives other people a chance to find us, even if you rate us on iTunes as well, on the Apple, on the podcasting app over there. You guys can find us there, and on Spotify as well. You can rate us over there now, too, and comment as well. So go ahead, do that. Two Blur Girls podcast and I also teamed up with Children's of St. Jude's Hospital. So
Cool.
we're doing a little charity, and you get yourself a Scentsy, $5 to $10, and guess what? All proceeds go over to the Children of St. Jude's Hospital, and that's where you guys can donate over there to get yourself a Scentsy. All those links will be in the link below. If you want the 10% off Manscaped stuff, that's also in the links below as well. If you want to, go ahead, follow me under Movie Lovers Unit on Twitter and Movie Lovers Unit 0 on TikTok as well. And if you would like to be on the show, if you're a sponsor or anything like that, just go ahead and reach out to me at movieloversunite@gmail.com. Brian, where can people reach you at if they want to go ahead and follow you on social media?
I don't know. I feel like I'm like, I feel underclassed after here. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know who I am right now, you know. But let's see. I know it's Creighton Films, and just Google it. You can find me, you know. That's simple. Google it. You'll find me. I'll pop up.
All right. With that being said, guys, it's been real. It's been fun. I can't wait to do this again. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Olivia. Always until next time, guys. Have a great and safe night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye.